Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another scrumptious, delicioso
Welcome back,
episode. Tanya, welcome. Rafi, what's up, people?
Let's rock and roll.
Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping.
Chef,
All right.
good job.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Your timing is on point. You're on point.
You know what I'm saying? We
did
did say
good
we'll
today.
be doing dinner from about 6 to 7, 6 to 8. Somewhere around
And
there.
Harry.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Well, we try to keep it within that time frame. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
All right, people. So like the title says, for those of you watching on TikTok, and for those of you watching later, we are making a rice noodle stir fry tonight for dinner. All right. So it's about to be on and popping. If you were on yesterday, you would have saw the delicious veggie soup that we had. It was like a minestrone, really delicious, really tasty. So tonight, what's up, Ash? I love it, the Ash Foundation. So tonight we're doing stir fry, one of my favorites, because I love making Asian food. The Plant Lady, what's up? How you doing? All right, I sent out a shout out or two. Some my peeps are joining. So yeah, we're about to get started. So let's go over the things that we're going to be using for our stir fry today. First things first, Papa's is making stir fries. Okay, so we have scallions, we have cilantro, and we have some beautiful celery as well. And this is like baby celery, right? So lots of herbaceous flavors going on, and that's a must for stir fry. It makes the stir fry pop, and it just overall gives it a really nice taste. And then I have peeled carrots that instead of cutting them, I peeled the carrots. After I peel them again, and this is why we have carrot ribbons. So next time you're gonna use carrots for your stir fry, try this out because it goes with the noodles, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, one thing I learned in my Asian travels and working with the master chefs that I work with that do Asian food, you always want to mirror the vegetables that you're adding to your noodles as much as possible. Like if you're doing fried rice, everything should kind of be cut to the size of the rice, right? Just food for thought, no pun intended. We got jalapenos because we like some heat, right? We have onions, red onions. In this beautiful bowl of green veggies, we have snow peas, Napa cabbage, aka Savoy cabbage. We have broccoli florets, and we have regular cabbage, and then we have some bok choy as well, right? So a nice little mix in there. We have orange, bell peppers.
Chef, do you have your shop up?
I do. Not sure why it's not showing. And then we also have. Cool. Does that work?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. And then we have our purple cabbage as well, right? And then last but not least, I have to start cutting this. This right here, if anybody can tell me what this is, you will get a free digital cookbook.
Oh.
Right? So we're about to add these into our stir fry. I'm about to cut them up. You tell me what it is. It looks kind of alien, right? But I love it. It provides one of the most amazing textures out there. Let me get my sharp knife. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to block you.
You're fine.
All right. But yeah, mushroom. Aha. What kind of mushroom? Seaweed. Uh-oh. Let me see. What other answers we got? Is it mushroom? Is it seaweed? What is it, people? Tell me. We have to say more than, we have to really, really say what it is. So tell me, what is it? Because this stuff it's a game changer, man. If you've never used it, we're about to go into what it is. Nope. I'll give one more person a try, and then I'll go back to somebody else and see what we can, deduce. Dried, what was that? Let's see. Dried mushrooms. The Plant Lady. Oh, snap, the Plant Lady. All right, so two people. Let's see. Fungi. Yep. All right. So I'll stop it there. Everyone that has said mushroom, fungi, however you want to pronounce it, you are right. Now, you will get a cookbook. So you just have to message me, all right? And you will get that free digital download. Now, I will give out a second digital download if someone can tell me the type of mushroom. If they can give me a name, that'll be amazing, right? There are two names that these fall under. I'll take either one. These are like one of my favorite mushrooms. Lion's manes, nope, not lion's manes. So I'll tell you, because I don't know if anyone watching knows, but I'll give you 30 more seconds to give me the name of it. 30 more seconds. Black fungus. Nice. All right.
Somebody got it?
Sincerely, yes.
Oh,
You got it. Black fungus. So they're called black fungus or they're called cloud ear mushrooms, right? And for those of you watching, if you've never used these mushrooms before, they are absolutely amazing. All right. First of all, they come dry, right? Where are my dry ones? I had some in here somewhere. Oh, well, I guess I used them up already. All right. So they come dry and you have to soak them, right? For, I'd say at least 30 minutes, ice cold water, right? And after you soak them, they bloom and they get nice and big. Cloud ear. Yep, you got it. And then once they are bloomed, you just cut them up. You want to be careful depending on the brand that you get. They might have a little bit of wood attached to it because that's how they grow. So you want to just cut that off. But once those are nice and clean, you slice this up and they are amazing in stir fries. They're amazing in like soups because they don't break down like other mushrooms do. The water content in these are very low, so they provide amazing texture. They sear really nice. Just overall, really cool mushrooms to work with, right? So these are like a go-to for me anytime I'm doing stir fry. All right, and hopefully it becomes a go-to for you as well. All right, so we have our sliced mushrooms in here. And then of course, I'm gonna slice some fresh mushrooms too, because we're doing stir fry. We gotta make sure that we have everybody taken care of, all corners, you know what I mean? Super, super important. Thanks for the love, people. I appreciate it. Let me get a bowl for my mushroom. Let me slice this up real quick. All right, so for my fresh mushrooms, is it the same as wood ear or tree? Yup, bullseye, you got it. It's exactly the same. There are multiple names for it, but they're all basically the same mushroom. So I have yellow oysters. These are yellow oysters, right? Super floral. And I also actually have some lion's mane here as well, right? And then last but not least, we have these babies right here. These are called hen of the woods. These are called maitakes, depending on where you get them from. Some people might even call them chicken of the woods. I don't really dig that one because I'm like, chicken of the woods, but that's what people call them. People will add on all kinds of fancy names to sell a product. You know what I mean? But I love all kinds of mushrooms. And these maitakes, they sear really, really nicely. So if you want to do, people are funny when it comes to mushrooms, and I get it, because if the person preparing the mushrooms for you don't really know about mushrooms, then they don't understand how to really cook it. And because of that, you will end up with really soggy mushrooms, or you'll end up with mushrooms that are not very flavorful. So the secret to mushrooms is a few things. One, you don't ever really wash your mushrooms. If you have to wash them, then you shouldn't be buying them, right? Super important. Like, your mushrooms should come very clean. And what I do is I will brush them, right? So I'll take like a regular paintbrush or like a pastry brush, like one of these, and then I'm in there like a painter and I'm just like this. Like, that's all you need to do to clean your mushrooms. If you need to do more than this, the most I will do, if I see my mushrooms might be a little hard to clean with the brush, then I'm taking a paper towel and I'm damping it, and then I'm just kind of like wiping the mushrooms, right? But that's the most you should ever need to do for your mushrooms. And the reason people might tend to wash their mushrooms is because more than likely they're buying button mushrooms from the supermarket. And unfortunately, button mushrooms and, portobellas and bellas, baby bellas, those are the mushrooms that get a bad rap because, first of all, they have it inside of a clamshell or a container covered with plastic. And that's like the worst way to store mushrooms. Like mushrooms, they need to breathe, right? So if they're covered in plastic, they start creating condensation, they start smelling extra stinky. And, because of that, a lot of people, when they smell the mushrooms, they're like, oh, why does it smell like that? And they get turned off. So you want to be careful you want to be careful when you're buying mushrooms, where you're getting them from. And then if you're cooking them, the next thing is you want to make sure that your pan is super hot, right? This is very important when you cook mushrooms. Your pan needs to be really hot. So this way you can actually sear them. If your pan is not hot enough and you put your mushrooms in there, one is going to soak up all of that oil that you have in your pan. And then it becomes waterlogged because you don't get to sear them anymore, right? So super important to make sure that your mushrooms are in a hot pan. Once you put them in there, you don't move them around too much. You get that initial sear and then you give it a toss, you season it, and you keep it moving, right? Now, let's make the sauce for our stir fry. Super, super important. All right, so first things first, we're gonna add some vegetarian oyster sauce to this container right here. All right, this is gonna give us our viscosity for the sauce. All right, so we have that in there. Next, we're gonna add our sesame oil, which is a must when making stir fry or making any kind of Asian flavors. Like you can't go without sesame. Like sesame oil is like one of the holy grails. You know what I mean? We're gonna go with a little bit of hoisin, right? Because I love that flavor. It's like a Asian barbecue. We don't need too much of it. And then to that, I'm gonna add some tamari, right? Tamari soy. And then last but not least, we're gonna go with some sweet chili. All right. What's up, everybody? Right now, I am making the stir fry sauce for our dinner tonight. All right. So everything is in here that I would need to add for my stir fry sauce. Super simple, super easy. Like it doesn't take a lot, And don't let people discourage you or tell you, oh, if you don't have a wok or if, you can't make Asian, like it's not about that, right? Because unless you are a commercial kitchen or you're a Chinese restaurant, you can't really replicate that flavor, but you can get really close based on the ingredients that you use and the sauces that you use. So since I'm making food for 5 people and I am not in a commercial kitchen, I'm gonna just use a regular situation right here. So it's nice and big, it'll be able to hold everything and I don't have to worry about, overcrowding, because one of the most important things when you make stir fry, right, or a lot of Asian food in general, because let me rewind, my background is in Asian food. I worked in New York City at a restaurant called Budokan in Chelsea Market. I worked there for 5 years. I trained with a master dim sum chef there. I trained with the executive chef there, which is Cantonese. His name is Chef Yang. Amazing dude. So he taught me all the tricks of the trade. And then I also went to Asia. Like I went to Thailand, I went to China, Japan, Korea, studying food, right? So flavor profiles is something I create very easily when it comes to Asian food. Hence all of the Asian ingredients in my pantry, right? So you can still create similar flavor profiles as long as you have the right ingredients, right? So would I rather cook on a wok? 100%. There's nothing like it. Like that flavor, you can't replicate that flavor no matter what you do, no matter how you try. Because the reason behind that is with a traditional Chinese wok, it actually gets hot to between 20, 30, 40,000 BTUs, right? Whereas in your stove is a couple thousand. Like it's like a jet engine versus a car engine. Like it's very different, right? And because of that high intense temperature, that's what allows your food to get that taste, which is called wok hei. So that taste is how Chinese restaurants are able to create that food because it's so hot. You have to keep, and this is why you're constantly doing this. When you see the Asian people making food, they're constantly tossing the wok, because if you leave the food on the wok, in 10 seconds it will be burnt, like literally that quickly. So you definitely want to so to be able to replicate that, it's almost impossible. But in terms of the other flavors, you can totally do the other flavors. All right, so I'm just gonna slice my garnishes, right, because we need scallions in our stir fry. Like that's a must, right? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen, while we are here making dinner? All right. For those of you who are just joining me, this is a 100% vegan channel, right? On this page, we do all things plant-based, all things, every day, right? I'm on here Monday to Friday making delicious food for me and the fam, all right? So if you need plant-based ideas, this is the place to come check out, right? I help you see the possibilities of what delicious plant-based food can actually be. Cool. Let me get a bowl for these because I have to slice one more thing. After the cilantro and celery. All right, people. Let's do the celery. What's up, sweetheart?
I like when you say wake.
Wake, baby.
Wake.
There's nothing like it. Deborah, appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thanks for joining the fan club. Yeah, it's awesome. You know what? I'm about to send out a nice gift to the fan club.
Ooh.
Yeah, thanks for rocking with me, people. I appreciate it. Joe, Max, yes. I appreciate that as well, buddy. What's up, Kimmy? Everybody, welcome, welcome. So tonight we're doing stir fry. Right now, I'm just slicing and dicing the cilantro. All right, actually, this is the celery. I'm about to slice the cilantro next. Gotta have really nice aromatics for your stir fry, right?
Smells really good.
Right? It makes it pop. That's the thing. You know, plant-based food is all about levels of texture and flavor, right? This is how you enjoy plant-based food. It can be one-dimensional. You know what I mean? You have to pay attention to that because that's how you stay being plant-based, right? By doing food very different, you know? It's not about, oh, you know, I'm only used to doing this. Like, nah. When you're plant-based, it's your excuse to experiment. You know what I mean? Think outside the box. Like everything that I do when I make food, it's always different. You know, I pull from all types of cultures, like, you know, whether it's Japanese. We love your content, guys.
Thank you.
Joe, I appreciate that. Yeah, like, you know, I pull from different cultures every single time I cook, you know, whether it's Caribbean, you know, Asian, African, you name it. Like, that's the goal because that's when you make exciting food. You know, it's one thing to, oh, you know, this is all I know. That's okay. But for you to do better, you have to re-educate yourself. You have to explore. You know, this is why I love going out to eat because every time I go out to eat, I learn from what I'm eating, right? So thanks for the shares. Thanks for reposting. Thanks for letting the fans, the people know what we're doing here because every day we plant-based, baby. Every single day. So I'm about to put water to boil, all right? Because we're going to, now there's a few ways you can do your noodles for your stir fry, right? There are multiple techniques that I do. One, you can soak your noodles in ice cold water the day before and it'll be completely pliable and ready for your stir fry. And then you just have to kind of stir fry it with with it just being soaked. Then you can actually also just pour hot water over it, boiling hot water over it, right? And that will also cook it the same way, but then it gives you obviously a different level of doneness, right? With the hot water, it's basically going to be fully cooked at that point. But you have to be careful. If you're going to do the hot water technique, as soon as you pour the hot water in and it becomes pliable, you want to get rid of the hot water. If it sits in the hot water, it's going to fully cook and get really soft. And then from there, you can end up overcooking your noodles because you still need to saute it, right? You still need to, give it that stir fry action. So just something to think about when you're doing those techniques of your noodles, right? Super, super important. Now, for the secret ingredient right here, people. This baby right here, this is my meat substitute that I make in-house, right? I make this at home. Like, look at this.
It's fire.
Right, so this is
It tastes so
like
good.
all protein,
It tastes so
all flavor,
good.
right? And this stuff right here, like I turn it into bacon.
We fight over it.
Yo,
We literally fight over it.
like seriously, this stuff is insane. I put it in my curries. I put it in my stir fries. I put it in my bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. Yes, bacon, egg, and cheese, like all vegan, right? So I slice it super thin. It crisps up, right? It turns into bacon. I can even barbecue this. Like this is like the straight up.
It's such a lifesaver.
This is the jam right here. So since we're doing stir fry, right? Since we're doing stir fry, we're gonna just do like strips.
It's so meaty.
It really is. It has the perfect chew, the perfect bite. So it's one of those things where you're happy when you're biting into it, right? Because it allows you to not miss meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some days I cook with this, some days I don't, but it's always there when we need it for whatever we need it for. Because basically, like I said, it's really universal. So it goes with everything. Mm-hmm. So when I make this, because I am making something that's a meat substitute, I add spices like, smoked paprika. I add liquid smoke, right? What is it really? Tofu? No. So this is wheat gluten, right? So it's wheat gluten with a bunch of spices, a bunch of herbs, just all flavorful stuff, right? And I do a combination of beans, tofu, oats, quinoa. Like there's all kinds of different ways that I do this that just makes it really nutrient dense. So it's one of those things where it's like the real deal. You know what I mean? Like you get a lot out of it. Thank you, Plant Lady. I appreciate that. So it's just super delicious. And the thing is, it's so easy to make. Like it is literally so easy to make. You take a bunch of spices, you blend everything up, you get the wheat gluten, you add the spices to it, the herbs, you add the tofu, everything. I even made pepperoni with this. So like I'm telling you, it's a game changer. The pepperoni is in the side of the door. Like I made pepperoni so I can make pizza, right? This is the pepperoni right here. So I'm telling you, like you can literally turn it into anything you want, right? The goal is
Masterclass coming up.
Yeah, masterclass coming up is right. So this is done. I'm gonna move this to the front so we can work on the noodles, right? Thanks, Joe. So remember, boiling hot water, right? We're gonna pour this over it, and you want to pour it over the noodles as you're pouring the hot water, right? And of course, you have to make sure you have enough water, right? Super important. So we're gonna give that a little tossy toss, right? And remember, like I said, once we see the noodles getting pliable, we get rid of the hot water, all right? The goal is to just have this at a texture that when we stir fry it, we're not waiting too long. It's not taking forever, all right? Super, super important. So 1 second, add some more water in here. And then, yeah, I have my pot on the fire. It's getting nice and hot. All right, and like I said earlier on, it's super, super important to make sure that your pan is hot when you do your stir fry. All right, super, super important because cold pans and stir fry is the enemy. All right, it's like, why did you do that to me? That's basically what it's gonna tell you. So I'm gonna crank this up, right? We're gonna get our oil in there, and the first thing we're gonna do. So the other thing that makes your stir fry really successful is the stages that you cook everything, right? Super, super important. You wanna make sure that you're not overcooking anything, right? Stir fry is about texture, it's about flavor. Like for me, I can't stand overcooked food. I can't stand mushy vegetables. Like it's like I can't do it. So I'm very methodical in what I cook first versus last, right? So for instance, I know that mushrooms, those can go for as long as I want. I'm not gonna worry about how they taste or how they look because they're mushrooms, right? The carrots can take a beating. The peppers, the onions can take a beating, but these babies right here, these are definitely one of the last things I'm gonna put in because one, everything can be eaten raw, right? That's important. And then two, it doesn't take that long to cook because of the cuts, which is super important. So when you're doing stir fry, you wanna make sure that everything is cut in a way that once you add it to the pan, it's not taking 15 minutes to get done, right? So super important about, that's why if you look at all my knife cuts, everything is about the same size. This way, the minute they go into the pan, they're basically all gonna cook at exactly the same time. That's the trick to making amazing stir fry. Like look, literally everything is cut the exact same size, right? That is the key. Even the plant roast is cut the same size, right? You can tell I'm a little crazy about cuts, but you have to be. This is how you make amazing plant-based food, okay? So my water just finished boiling. Let me pour a little bit more on top, and then we're gonna give this about a minute, and we will be good to go. I can strain that. My pan is getting nice and hot, but it's a dry pan. There's no oil in there, right? Super important. So you see now my noodles are, I'd say, 75% cooked. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to strain this, right? Because noodles, they're successful when they're the perfect temperature, when they're the perfect cook. It's like pasta. You want it to be almost al dente, right? That's the trick here. So I'm gonna pour this out and I will be right back, people. All right. Yeah, this is nice. Perfect. Not too cooked, just right. So I'm just running a little bit of water on this so we can stop the cooking process. All right, we're good to go. Okay, noodles are ready. So I literally drained it, right? And I just ran just a little bit of cold water on it. Not too much. The idea is to just kind of slow down the cooking process, but get this to a place where it's manageable, but not cooking any further, right? Because the minute we add this to the pan with the liquid, with the veggies and everything like that, trust me, it's gonna do what it do. All right? And that's what we want it to do. All right, people. Oh, snap. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Now, my oil. I need my pan. I got my spoon, my little stir spoon. Where's my long spoon? There we go. I got my spoon here. Now, oil. I have some leftover oil from something I cooked earlier on, so we're gonna just use that. It's all about reusing what we have, right? Super, super important. So I know my pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna crank it up all the way. So as soon as we add the oil, let's work on what we're adding into the pan first. So first we're gonna go with these mushrooms because they can take a beating, right? Then second, we're gonna go with the other mushrooms, right? And once these are done, we're gonna put them to the side, and then we're gonna go with the onions. Next, after the onions, we're gonna go with the carrots and then the peppers, right? After that, followed by the chilies, the cabbage, and then the greens, Cool? So that's the game plan. Let's do this. You can see me? Yes. Okay. So oil in, enough oil, right? This is the other thing about stir fry. You need to make sure there's enough oil. I'm not talking deep frying, but there needs to be enough oil. That way when you put in the mushrooms and you put in these aromatics, that it doesn't dry up and then you're starting to burn, right? 1, 2, 3 spoons. All right, let me get a side towel right here. We're gonna give this just a minute to get nice and hot. Okay, first things first. Let's go with our mushrooms. Next, we're going with the other mushrooms, all right? Now these mushrooms, once you put them in, you just want to spread them out. And now we're gonna go with a little bit of salt and pepper, just a tiny bit. Okay, just like that. So we're gonna let that sear. The goal is to get color on the mushrooms, right? Super important. We don't want steamed mushrooms. So that's why I'm not moving it around. I'm not touching it. The fire is all the way up. Yep. We're gonna leave that just how it is. And next, since it's a nice big saute pan, well, not saute pan, it's like a rondeau, but because of the white surface that we have, we can add more things and it's still cooked. So we're gonna go in with the onions and just kind of sprinkle that in, right? And we're gonna give that a minute, right? Super, super important. Put that there. Okay, so we're starting to get golden. We're gonna now give it a stir, all right? Beautiful. You can already smell the mushrooms, like it smells amazing. So next, we're gonna go with our carrots, like I said. Okay, so carrots are in. Peppers are gonna go right in after. Now we're gonna hit it with a little bit of seasoning, right? So cooking and doing plant-based food really well is all about making sure that you're seasoning properly and you're seasoning as you go, right? Really important, because if you wait till the end to season, you miss out on a big opportunity, because when you take every bite, there should be flavor in every bite, and you can't get that if you're waiting till the very end to season. Okay, so if you're adding multiple ingredients and you're doing it in stages, you kind of have to season as you go, each level. This way, when you finish and you take a bite, no matter what you take a bite of, there's always flavor there. Cool? Okay, so I'm gonna give this a stir. And I'm gonna put that to the side. And then what I'm gonna do now, let me just show you what this kind of looks like. Right? See? So this is what we're talking about, right? So I'll put that there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the plant roast, right? So we can get some heat to this. Okay, we're gonna spread that around. Bring this fire over here a little bit. Okay. So basically we want this to just sear. I'm gonna take just a little bit of oil, like a tablespoon, and just kind of drizzle it over the plant roast. And we're gonna let that sear and do its thing. On top of that, Two different mushrooms. Talk to me. Two different mushrooms and red onions, then carrots, peppers, seasoning empty, and put. Yep, you got it. You got it. So jalapenos are going in with the seeds, right? Because we like that heat. And we're gonna just let that do its thing. In the meantime, we're gonna add our cabbage, all right? And then we're gonna give it another layer of seasoning, right? So obviously I'm not seasoning at 100%. I'm seasoning at like 25%, if that much, right? It's just enough to bring out the flavors in all of the ingredients. So when everything combines and comes together, it's gonna be 100% seasoned. And then don't forget, we still have to add the sauce, which is 100% seasoned, right? Because it's soy, it's mushroom sauce, it's Thai sweet chili. So everything there is at 100% when it comes to salt. So we don't need to go crazy, right? And the other thing about what I'm doing is I love to eat with my eyes, and most people do, they just don't know it. So I always work on making my food look delicious, right? So that's why the colors. Anytime you see, for those of you who haven't been on my page before, every time I cook, my food is very colorful, unless it's something like, you know, a soup or whatnot, but there's gonna be lots of greens in there anyway. But the goal is to create colors, textures, and flavor, right? So not only does the food look good, but it tastes good as well, right? So of course our stir fry is gonna have bright oranges, it's gonna have bright purples, it's gonna have bright green, right? Just really amazing flavors. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to the cabbage, right? Just a tiny bit. And then we're gonna go with some fresh cracked black pepper, right? And season up everything. And then now we can bring the pan back to the middle, right? Because what I did was I moved all the veg to the corner, and then I just moved the pan over to one side over the flame. So this way, the part that had the flame was the things that I just added recently. So this way, the concentrated heat is in that one particular area, right? All right, let's give it a stir. Yeah, now we're talking. Yes, all right. Now, we're going with this baby right here, right? Let's get our noodles ready. Thank you, thank you. All right, our noodles, because of what we did, it's like the perfect, it's like 85% cooked now, right? You can see it looks a little different. It's more pliable. It's starting to stick because the starches are starting to release because it's gone past that stage, but it's like the perfect texture for stir fry, right? And that's what we want. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, do we add the noodles first or do we add the greens first? I think that we should add, Susha, should we add the greens or the noodles first?
So, Chef, the greens or the noodles first? I would say, the way you're looking at me in my eyes, it looks like it's a test. I would add the greens.
Okay. Good job, young Padawan.
Thank you, Jesus.
All right. Greens. Yes, Fancy. You got it. Make sure that's... Noodles first. Plant Lady said noodles first. Fancy says greens. We're going to go with this. All right. So greens in. Then we're going to spread that around and we're going to go with the sauce. Right? That nice sizzle, and then we go. Greens take a little longer and the noodles are almost done, so you don't want to overcook them. Yeah, Fancy. There you go. So noodles are in. All right. Now, because these are extra long, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit of snipping, right? We're gonna give the noodles a haircut. Alright? Just so it's easier for us to maneuver. Tell me how many of you go to Korean restaurants and there's like a pair of scissors when you order food because they're cutting up stuff for you, right? I just love that. So it's basically the same idea here. Alright? Okay. Let's give this a toss. Oh, beautiful. I can't wait for you guys to see what this looks like. It looks amazing already. All of the colors, orange, purple, green. It's so bright. Alright. Nice. Woo. Alright, let me bring some close so you can see what I'm getting excited about. Like, it looks amazing. Look at that. Right? I need the recipe for the meat sub. Haha, you gotta join my community. Right? So this is what we're talking about. Like the noodles, the colors, it looks super delicious. Right? So we're gonna check flavor. Okay, let me give this a taste. It looks like it tastes really good. All right. Okay, let's see. All right. Perfectly chewy. How do I access your recipes? It depends. I have cookbooks available. I have a community available, right? You know, there's easy. You can, everything is in my profile, right? Everything that you need. Becoming a subscriber. Yes, Deborah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, send me a message and we can talk about the different levels of access that you can get, right? So let me show you what the finished product looks like. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add the I'm gonna add the herbs, which is cilantro and celery and scallions, all right? Super important. Whew. Yeah, we're making it rain greens, baby. We're making it rain greens. Yes. So I'll give this a mix so you can see this delicious stir fry that we have created together, right? So don't let anybody tell you, look at that. Don't let anybody tell you you can't make delicious, tasty, plant-based food that will rock anybody's world. Because trust me, if you could taste this right now, look at that. Let me pull it up so you can see, right? So this is where we're at. Stir fry is done. It's time to serve dinner. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the questions, the comments. Thanks for the love. Thanks for joining the fan club, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. This baby right here is money. And the vegetables are still nice and al dente. Look at the broccoli. It's not overcooked, right? Like, I can't wait. The Napa cabbage is not overcooked either because Napa cabbage is so high in water, it overcooks like that. But this is what I was trying to tell you about, just creating those flavors and knowing when to add the ingredients to the pan, right? This is just as important as cooking good food, right? So the last thing is sliced cucumbers. This is very Thai, right? In Chinese food, you don't really see it as much, but I just love, you know, I just love that, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Plant Lady. I appreciate you. But yeah, cucumbers right on top. The heat, the Asian flavors, it just does something with the cucumber and it just tastes so amazing, right? So that's it. I'm gonna plate this up and feed my family because we all starving. I had a super busy day today. I went to speak at the Southeast IFT conference today and got to speak to a bunch of product developers, scientists and people that are in the food space in terms of creating products. So, it was a really great experience for me today and it wore me out. So I was able to, get that done and I was able to do this live as well. So I was actually napping before I came on here because I was that tired. But anyway, let's serve some delicious food. All right. And then I have this baby over here, which is something you need to get your hands on. It's fried onions, right? This you can either get shallots or fried onions. So this on top of your stir fry, another game changer, people. I'm telling you, another game changer, right? It's just money. Look at that. Come on. Look at that. That's just, it's like, it's beautiful. I almost want to cry, right? Look at that. And then plating is super important, right? You want to make sure that when you're plating, it actually looks good as well. You don't want to just throw the food on the plate and be like, here you go. You know what I mean? Like restaurant level. Like that's just how you do it, right? And then we have our cucumbers, right? We're gonna just put the cucumbers right there. You're not gonna just throw the cucumbers on there either, right? We're gonna just put it on the side, right? Like that's dinner. So we're done. All right, people? We're done. We're done. Okay, what else we got here? People think eating healthy is expensive, but it's actually cheaper than eating bad. 100%. Yes, shop. It's 100% the case. It's all about shopping smart and cooking smart. So thank you for saying that. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on here tomorrow. What am I making for dinner? I have no idea, but just know that it's gonna be 100% plant-based and it's gonna be good. All right, so make sure you love on yourself, make sure you forgive yourself, and make sure you treat yourself right. Okay? I will catch you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Same time, same channel, same place. All right, we out.